Crime time
with my bestie.
I'm Jess and this is Anna Riches, and we are Crime Time with my bestie. Hi, bestie.
Hi, bestie. Look at you smashing it.
I know, I was so well prepared. I think we're on like 3 goes now where it's been like perfect.
I'm so proud of you.
Getting so good at it.
It's almost like we made it.
Almost like we know what we're doing and that we're professional podcasters, which
God.
as of the episode released today, we are out to the world on episode 10, but we are recording episode
12.
Well, is this 12? This is 12.
Yeah, you are even numbers.
Oh, I quite like that. I hadn't realised that, and now I'm quite happy about it. Sorry if you were opposed to your odd number.
I hate it. No, it's good to know when I type in the little thing, I'm like you have to name the episodes for the recording. I know exactly whose episode it is by whether it's an odd or an even number.
Yeah, you don't accidentally get terrified when you start typing in, realising that it is actually your episode and you have not prepared the research.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, could you imagine? Like, oh wait, it's mine. I have no research. Today we're just talking about, I was going to say cheese, but we've done cheese.
We have done cheese.
We need another filler episode where we don't know what we need to talk about.
We need to talk
chicken.
about a book.
We could open up book talk. We could open up film talk. I just watched or finished watching the Monster, the story of Ed Gein on Netflix. You haven't watched it, but I feel like that would require a whole episode of time, if not more, to divulge all the information.
This is the one that you sent me a voice note about, isn't it? That you said,
yeah,
don't watch it alone. And I was like, I live alone, Jess. When do you want me to watch it?
You can watch it in the daytime, because that's the only way that I managed to get around watching The Quiet Place, because I don't really like horror films.
Oh, The Quiet Place is fine.
It's scary.
That one I find is fine. If something's going to appear at my window or haunt me, I don't like ghosts. I don't want them to haunt me in the middle of the night. I don't like things jumping and stuff like that. So those kind of horrors.
The Quiet Place has jumpy bits.
Yeah, but it's like an alien takeover.
Oh, so you're fine with aliens coming from outer space horror?
Yeah, because I'd had some knowledge about it before.
Unless they're already here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I'm not a massive horror person. I don't particularly sit down and watch horrors for fun. I think, they're probably the only horror type genre films that I've watched, apart from true crime, like that kind of thing, like Monster. Yeah, it's The Quiet Place. I watched Get Out because
I feel like that was...
Again, I watched it with the light on or in the daytime, though, because I feel like it was one of those like really big cultural things. It was like a phenomenon at the time, and it was like, everybody should watch this. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it.
And it is very clever.
It's very good.
So it is very good. Yeah, I like that one. Those ones are kind of fine for me, and gore, fine with gore.
No, my dad really liked the Saw films when I was younger, and it was not pleasant. I think I got to manage to like 2 or 3 before I noped out, like fully noped out. I was like sitting there watching as it started, and I was like, nope, I just left the room.
I'm not like, I wouldn't seek those ones out. Like, I wouldn't seek out Saw. But if it's on and someone's watching it, or someone's like, yeah, let's watch Saw, it doesn't really bother me. Because I think it's so extreme. I mean, the first one's not so... It's been a long time since I watched the first one.
Yeah. But it's Halloween.
It is Halloween. So for you guys, it's way in the future.
Yeah.
But for us, it's Halloween.
Well, not Halloween today. Halloween's in 2 days. And I've decided that I'm going to watch a film on Halloween night. Maybe, I don't know what I want to watch. I think I would go for something that is not scary or gory. I'd probably go for like Hocus Pocus or Casper.
Yeah, a classic Halloween film. I've never seen Hocus Pocus.
What?
I know.
Wow.
I might have to do that on Friday night.
You might have to. Yeah, the Hocus Pocus 2 was not as bad as I was expecting, but it was definitely not as good as I wanted it to be. But yeah, Hocus Pocus is legit. It's like, it's a good 90s film.
I know it just happened to pass me by, and then every year I'm like, right, I'm going to watch it this year, and then Halloween passes, and then I'm like, well, I can't watch it now. And then the cycle starts again. I want to watch it at Halloween the first time.
Okay. Well, then how about we both watch Hocus Pocus on Halloween, and we can like discuss it after, so that you can give your opinions on it. I do find it's hard though, going back and watching films. Like, if you watched it when it was the 90s, they're pretty easy to like digest as an adult. Whereas watching them now, if you have never seen them, it is a bit of like a, ooh or a cringe or like a ugh, like a little bit of the ick. Like Sam really liked is it Jingle All the Way, which I think is a Christmas film with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and it was weird. It was weird watching it as an adult. I was like, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a lot of people that like showing their kids like 90s films now, and I'm like, is this okay? Some of the films are quite questionable.
We were weird in the 90s.
It was very strange. Like, we watched School of Rock with my niece and nephew a couple of months ago.
Perfection film.
It was so good. And I was sitting there like absolutely loving it, and they were looking at me like, are you okay? I'm like, this is the best thing. You can sort of tell what kind of kids we were. But yeah, anyways, how are you? How has your week been?
Well, you know how my week has been because I spent most of it with you.
You did. It was lovely. Does that mean I have to just tell you about my weekend, and then it just feels like everything's about me? We only talk about me. No,
you just keep cutting me off, and I'm like, no, Jess.
But on all seriousness, so this weekend, well, it was technically last Thursday, but this weekend was mine and my husband's 5-year wedding anniversary, and we threw a big party, and it was great. We got married in COVID, and we had 15 people there, so we didn't get to have the big party and the big wedding. So we decided to throw a big party now, and we rented out a hall. We had a DJ, we had casino tables, and we had a burger van, and it was really good. It was really fun.
You're missing the most important thing that you also had.
Wait. Oh, my dessert buffet.
No.
Is that no? Was it you? Are you the best thing? Oh, of course, my dancing dinosaurs.
You had dancing blow-up dinosaurs, which you did technically have at the wedding, but It was like a spur of the moment in the hotel after the wedding type thing the first time round. This time, we had a full-on, we did the cha-cha slide. It was excellent.
Beautiful. It was so good. So, for context, I thought it would be a brilliant bridesmaid favour to give to my bridesmaids, which was you, my friend Annabelle, and my sister, and I bought you all a blow-up dinosaur outfit, because why wouldn't I? That's completely normal. I got you pyjamas as well. Like, I was quite normal in that sense, but blow-up dinosaur outfits. And yes, I very much appreciate the cha-cha slide. There is videos of the dance routine from multiple angles, and every angle my face is like because I'm just like loving life. It's the best
There is
thing.
one specific photo that you sent me, because I don't think I have all of the videos, because I do remember seeing through the little screen in my costume window in my costume. Like, I saw loads of people videoing it, so I feel like there are more videos than what I have, but there is one photo and you're genuinely the happiest, like, massive smile. You're like, yeah!
My dreams have all come true, you dancing as dinosaurs. It was great. But I thought you meant the dessert buffet. Which,
that was
to be
also
fair,
fine, but like that was great. But was it as great as dancing dinosaurs?
Probably not. But saying that, I've still got leftover cake in my fridge, and it has continued to make it the best day ever.
Yeah.
So again, another one of my brilliant ideas, because, you know, we want blow-up dinosaurs for favours, but I had the idea that I wanted enough desserts that you could like all try a little bit, and it would like be really nice, like have a little bit of taste of like loads of different types of desserts. So I asked everybody to bring a dessert. Maybe there may have been a small amount where there was too many desserts. However, it was enough desserts to make you feel overwhelmed by the amount of choices.
Yes.
Like, it filled a big banquet table and some, and it was incredible. I've never been more happy. I think I had 9 desserts.
I was going to say, 9. How many did you have?
I had 9, and I kept going up to people going, how many desserts have you had? How many desserts have you had? They'd be like, 2, 3. Like, no, I'm sorry. You need to have like a minimum of 5. Like, it doesn't need to be a huge slice, but the idea is you go up and you try a little bit of that one, and try a little bit of that one, and try a little bit of that one. Like, it was like,
you were disappointed in all of us. I only had 4, but I did just get a can of Coke at the time, and then I immediately went onto the dance floor, so I almost threw up from having too many desserts and then a Coke. But I did get a takeaway pot of desserts afterwards, which has put me to, another 4?
Yeah, I suppose that would be 8.
I'm counting it as 8. Oh, and cookies. 9. Okay.
Oh, well done.
I meet you. I have had 9 desserts.
Fantastic. But yeah, I
can be really as your best friend.
Yeah, we can only be best friends if you consume at least nearly double digits of dessert from my parties.
Okay, so we're working on 18 next time. Jesus.
Maybe at least 10. But yeah, I got many a compliment for how many desserts there were, because everyone was like, "This is such a brilliant idea," and it was so good. And we did lots of dancing. At one point, though, me and you decided it would be a brilliant idea to pick up Sam, my 6'6" husband, in the midst of the, like, let's joke about with the whole, like, dirty dancing lift situation. And I pulled a muscle on my shoulder. So that was not so fun. But I still had a great time.
I was the one that really made you do that.
You really initiated it.
He was picking other people up, and I was like, no, we've got to do it to him. And I was committed to the bit. Because at first I remember him being like, no, you can't pick me up. And I was like, no, we can.
And we did. It was not a dirty dancing lift over our heads. It was like
that would have been too much. I'm 4'11". I couldn't have done that.
It was hard enough lifting my 8-year-old niece above my head, and she weighs probably a fraction of what Sam does. So yeah, it was very entertaining. So yeah, that was like, yeah, you're right. That was our weekend. We also had some brunch, so more food. Yeah.
Chicken
with
and
friends
waffles
on Sunday.
Oh,
yeah, fried chicken and
Good.
waffles. It was amazing. And yeah, it was all around a very, very good weekend. Very wholesome, very fun.
Lots of food. We're very into
so much food. Yeah, I think, like, I'd say a good 70% of my social interactions revolve around food. If there's no food, it definitely puts it in, like, a lower caliber of events for me.
Sorry, is this in a lower caliber events because there's no food on the podcast?
Maybe, but I don't think that translates well to microphone usage.
God, can
me
you
and you
imagine?
Also had a date. We forgot to say about our date night.
Oh, we did have a date night.
Yeah,
that was cute. That involved food.
I did. We went for a fondue. It was like a little best friend date. It was really cute.
That was the weekend before. For everyone that's concerned about how many plans we have.
Also for how many calories we're consuming. It's like we had brunch, and then we had a fondue, and then we had the dessert buffet. Jess is still eating cake 4 days later. Like, every morning and lunch, slice of cake every day.
Excellent. Yeah. But yes, we did have fondue, and it was delicious. And it was like our last hurrah, because fingers crossed by the time this comes out, hopefully I'm moving.
Yeah, you're going to move closer, and then we're going to have all the friendship dates with all of the food.
Yes. But yeah, the fondue was good. It was just so much cheese. Towards the end, though, it got a bit too much cheese. I hate to say it.
Yeah, we hilariously thought it would be not enough food. We went into it thinking that we were going to have to leave and get ourselves like an emergency Taco Bell or something to, like, fill the void, because we were looking at the photo like, it's not enough cheese and dippy bits. And then we got 3/4 into the cheese and we were like, oh my god, I'm so full of cheese, I don't think I can eat anymore.
It, like, solidified in our stomachs, and we didn't do it correctly. We ate all of the, like, vegetables and meats and stuff with the cheese first, and then we were only left with bread and cheese, which is incredible. But 15 minutes into just bread and cheese, and it's all solidified in your stomach, is a lot.
There's someone out there absolutely furious that they're like, you're questioning that just bread and cheese by itself is too much?
It wouldn't be normally. I think it's because it's liquid cheese, and that's why it's a lot. But I will say this. We finished every bit of that cheese.
Basically scrape the bowl clean. Don't want to waste it. And I think I say fancy cheese. I would consider it fancy because it's not one that I would typically buy from the supermarket because, you know, cheddar.
Basic bitch cheddar.
Basic bitch cheddar. It was Gruyere. Gruyere cheese. It's very nice.
So we're fancy. We're fancy bitches.
Yeah. Fancy, full of cake, full of cheese. I had the last 2 Krispy Kreme donuts today for breakfast.
Excellent. We might need a salad going forward.
Maybe some salad. Yeah. Side of cheese.
Yeah, obviously. Right. Should we get into your case?
We should. I have actually made a note of what my teasers were for last episode, so I can inform you that my teasers for this was dog, retrial, and curling iron.
Okay, I completely forgot. I have not listened to my episode yet. I have not edited it, so I forgot what your teasers were.
I also don't know whether I can give you all of the sources, because some of the names of the sources will 100% give the cases away.
Okay.
There is lots of sources in the show notes. For ones that I did use included Texas Tribune, a case law article, a scholar.lib article, and some ones that I can't mention because it will 100% give away the case. And the trigger warnings are bodily harm, child abuse, and bodily harm to a child. So I wanted to call them out specifically because I was like, they are different things. But yeah, those are my trigger warnings.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by all of this.
It will become very apparent very quickly.
Okay.
Because the way that I've written my notes, you will see.
Okay. Right, I'm ready.
So today we are talking about the death of April Tucker. Have you heard of it?
No, but maybe when you get into it, I might have. I'm not very good with names, if I'm honest.
Okay. So, April Renee Tucker was born on April 30th, 1984, and lived with her mum, Debbie Lovelace, sister Amy, and stepdad John Miller. The family lived on a 5-acre farm in Emory, Texas, where the girls loved to play outside.
Well, you would with 5 acres.
You would hope. Yeah, just like go outside, be free.
Be free, run around.
There was also many animals on the farm, including horses and dogs. April was described as bubbly and full of life and a happy child enjoying her time climbing trees and running around. At about 12:34 p.m. on January 4th, 1989, emergency services were called to the farm where they found April Tucker severely injured. April, at the time of the incident, was 5 years of age. She was found naked and covered with multiple abrasions, bruises, and puncture wounds. There was also a gaping wound in her right inner thigh. The wound was described as a gaping hole that measured 4 inches by 6 inches. A large chunk of thigh, muscles, femoral artery, blood vessels, and skin were simply gone. So it is not. Yeah, it's quite a.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's a heavy injury.
Yeah, and especially for a 5-year-old, that's 4 inches.
Their legs are so tiny.
I was going to say 4 inches by 6 inches. That's all of their leg, isn't it?
That's basically the whole leg, yeah.
And just gone. They didn't.
Just gone.
Okay. All right.
The paramedics rushed April to the Emory Fairgrounds, where they were met by a helicopter paramedic team. So they actually flew in a helicopter because of this, like.
Well, if your artery is gone, yeah, because aren't you just bleeding and they're small?
There was a lot of blood.
I was going to say children are small; they don't have that much blood.
I do have information about that later, actually.
Oh, excellent.
Where they were met by a helicopter paramedic team, which transported April to the hospital in Tyler, Texas. The examining doctor testified that when April got to the hospital, she was essentially morbid. She was hypothermic, and sections of her femoral artery and vein had been severed and were completely absent from the gaping wound in her leg, as mentioned. It is said that most children have about 6 pints of blood, and April had lost about 5 pints. So she was like pretty.
Has got nothing left.
Yeah, she's lost all of her blood.
I was going to say, what do they mean by morbid?
I think it was meant like you're basically at your death. You're basically at the point of death. After her vital signs were somewhat stabilised, April was taken to the operating room for corrective surgery.
Sorry, how can you even stabilise anything if you've lost that much blood? 5/6
It doesn't give me the
blood.
Details. Yeah, I don't.
I know, but I'm like explaining into the world. Like, if you have 6 pints of blood and you lose 5 of them, how do you come back from that? Well, how do you stabilise at that?
Sadly, April was taken to the operating room for corrective surgery of her leg wound. The doctors were able to restore circulation to her leg by doing some bypass procedures around the damaged vessels. However, April's overall condition was too severe and she died during the surgery, so very sad. The state of Texas quickly labelled Debbie Tucker. Oh, no, sorry. That's not.
You skipping ahead?
It's because it says Debbie Tucker Lovelace, but I haven't got her written anywhere else as Tucker Lovelace. So I'm going to just say Debbie Lovelace because maybe I must have copied it from the source and maybe they put Tucker Lovelace, but everywhere in like 90% of the sources she was just Debbie Lovelace. So.
Okay. So not married.
No, it says that John Miller is the stepdad. They say partner, so maybe they were married, but she kept her name or kept her previous name if Lovelace was, because obviously Tucker.
Or just a long-term partner.
Oh, actually, I remember this. I don't think I had it in the source. I think they were considered common law partners.
Yeah.
So I think not married, but they were living together long enough. So you are correct. I must have missed it off the source, but I definitely remember one of them saying that Debbie Lovelace and John Miller were common law partners. So yes. The state of Texas quickly labelled Debbie Lovelace and John Miller child abusers after a pathologist declared that April's death was the result of abuse. On January 5th, 1989...
Sorry, does the pathologist say why? Like, what led it... Okay, am I jumping ahead?
You're not giving it.
Okay, I will be quiet. I can't.
It's fine. There is method in the way that I'm reading it because there is more information that comes out later, but it just because of the story.
There always is, but neither of us can stop.
Was the meme is like, am I the drama?
I don't think I'm the drama. I might be the drama.
I'm definitely the drama in this sense. I have made the notes in such a way to make it full of drama.
Da, da, da.
On January 5th, 1989, the Smith County Medical Examiner, Dr. V.V. Gonzalez, concluded the cause of death was multiple traumatic injuries and, in brackets, battered child. So they're saying from the injuries that they're seeing on the body, they would see it as a battered child. A search warrant was
Sorry.
You're like, I don't get why. I need more details.
I do need some more details. I'm trying to be really good.
A search warrant was executed at the couple's home 2 days later, and police confiscated a curling iron, found it in a clothes hamper, and a hunting knife that Miller had received as a Christmas gift, which was deemed to be the murder weapon. On January 17th, 1989, Lovelace and Miller were arrested on the charge of felony injury to a child, which eventually escalated to a murder charge. The couple went on trial on October 31st, 1989, with the prosecution arguing that Miller had beaten the child to death, and they were sentenced to life in prison.
Damn.
So
I feel like I could be completely wrong, and maybe this is the reason I need to know more about the battered child definition, is that I feel like you're going to say, no, that they weren't, this is like a random attack. My theory is that it's one of the dogs has attacked. What was her name?
I mean, my teasers weren't
exactly.
April. Yeah, April.
Has attacked April because you've said dog. You've said they're on a massive farm with multiple dogs and things, but that doesn't necessarily say that they're trained dogs. They might be wild dogs. And just the way you were building up the story, you were not saying it in a way that's like, these are bad people. I could be completely wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will have more questions, but in a different way.
I like the theory. Now, you may be wondering how or why I wrote why I have jumped so quickly to what would be the end of the story and their conviction. If you remember in my teasers, I had the teaser of the word retrial. And this is what is the main plot of this true crime story, as in 1993, 4 years later, they appealed their charges and were eventually granted a retrial, and we are now going to go into the details of how and why.
To be fair, I forgot about the retrial.
So, we have to go back to the day in question. April's mother, Debbie Lovelace, stated that she's...
I'm just I'm in my brain, I'm laughing because the way we do notes sometimes is I can imagine both of us there making our notes, thinking we're so clever as we're putting in things like making little comments about the stuff that's in the case. We're like, ha 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 ha, you might be thinking, I mentioned retrial and now we have to go back to the beginning. And I do exactly the same in my notes as well. And I can just, I don't know, I just imagine us making, like doing the notes, being like, I'm so clever.
There's also a part where you're not anticipating the other person's like opinions. Yeah, why do you have to have a theory? You forget that obviously, like, I do obviously want you to talk during it, because otherwise I could just sit here reading the whole case and then that would be the end of it and everyone would go home probably a little bit more informed, but maybe not as entertained.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be a bestie podcast then.
Yeah, where's all the chaos and like screaming at each other and laughing, cackling madly because we've realised that something's funny? But yeah, I did write this in a way that I was like, I'm so clever the way that I've written it, because I wanted it to have that little bit of suspense, as well as I didn't want to get into it straight away, because again, it was one of those stories where, same with some of the other ones we've done in the past, the case itself, obviously, unfortunately in this case, April has passed away and the like situation surrounding it is not nice. But it's everything that came after that was kind of like, oh,
crazy,
really interesting. So
we both do it. It's just really funny.
So we have to go back to the day in question. April's mother, Debbie Lovelace, stated that she had spent the morning with April. They had breakfast together before April went outside to see what John Miller was doing. She was called back to the house on a few occasions between the times of 11 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. During this time, she was said to have been playing on the property with the dogs. At 11:45 a.m. Nothing. Completely fake. At 11:45 a.m, Debbie once again called April, who did not respond. Lovelace and Miller stated they were looking for April. Seeing dogs headed towards them, they followed the dogs and found April face down and naked next to a fence. Lovelace rushed to a neighbour's to phone for an ambulance, whilst Miller brought April inside. He had been trained as a paramedic and so was able to administer some first aid, trying to tend to her wounds.
Sorry, yes. I have a question. What time was the ambulance called?
The original information said that the ambulance got there at 12:34. So by the time, if they're a 5-acre farm, Debbie's got to get to the other neighbour to call the ambulance. I feel like 12:35 is about right.
Tracks. I was going to say if it was like, I don't know, 4 p.m, maybe not so good.
No, it tracks. I mean, obviously, they're saying between the times of 9 a.m. to 11:45, they are in contact with April, and she's coming backwards and forwards from the house, and Debbie's seeing her on repeated occasions. So maybe it could be like not factual, but I feel like if they seemed, from all the information, it all seemed very like legit? To the T, if that makes sense. Yeah, it seemed legit. So yeah, John Miller had been trained as a paramedic, so he was able to administer some first aid, trying to tend to her wounds. He wrapped a wash rag over the large wound in her leg, as well as his own shirt and her coat that had been near where she was found. The ambulance arrived a short while later, so that tracks with what the original information was. On the arrival of the police, both Miller and Lovelace had told the police that April Tucker had in fact been attacked by dogs. Yeah, see? So your theory was was pretty spot on. It's not as bad as me thinking that, Mesfui was killing people and turning their bodies into shoes.
Oh, shoes, yeah.
Shoes.
I mean, there is probably a serial killer doing that.
Probably. They say that it was something that April had actually told them. So when they got to April, she had said dogs did it. So
she was still conscious when...
She was still conscious. Again, according to Lovelace and Miller, that was what they said. They had got to April, and their theory was either maybe she had climbed up onto the fence that she was next to and fallen. Maybe they didn't specify which dog it was that they think that maybe had caused it, but they said they got to April, they said what happened, and she said dogs did it.
Why was she naked, though?
Unfortunately, I don't have... That is one thing that it doesn't...
It doesn't clarify that. I thought you were going to be suspense again.
No, sadly no. It is a very strange one. So
yeah, because why would she... Unless she was... Because she's on their home property, unless she's just like a naked child.
No, she was wearing... She was wearing clothes. She had some jeans on and underwear, and they'd been pulled down around her ankles. So you could say that maybe if you went with the dog as the actual culprit, maybe if she had climbed up on the fence, the dog had like grabbed her, and as it was like pulling at her, like, this is my theory. This is not something that, but like that's the only way. But there is not much of an explanation as to why she was found naked with, like, there was still clothes on her.
Did she have a top on?
The property naked. Yes, the top's still on, but...
Oh, okay. Oh, so she's not completely... It's just, like, pulled down. Okay,
bottom's down. Bottom layer is naked.
Okay.
So, yeah, very sorry. The paramedics who initially treated April at the Lovelace residence also notified the Rains County Sheriff Department of April's injuries and it being caused by an alleged dog attack. So...
Oh, so they believed it at the time. Okay.
So, yeah. Well, the paramedics did.
Yeah, but they're there. I'm not saying that they're the be-all and end-all, but they're...
End-all?
Be-all and end-all.
Oh, don't know why it made me laugh.
But they are there on the property and they would have seen everything firsthand. So I would be more inclined to be like, okay, well, they have all the evidence, rather than like, you know, when you're 2 steps away from something, it can work out, or you can be missing information.
Yeah, imagine as well that the paramedics would be the first ones to show up, like the in this case, it would be the sheriff, the county sheriff's office, or police would not have shown up straight away because in their minds, they just know that a child is injured. It probably wasn't until they saw the extent and obviously April's death that would make them go, okay, now we need to probably investigate this.
Yeah, you don't always get a police or a sheriff when you call an ambulance. You normally get the ambulance first, and then if it's suspicious, unless the person that's calling for the ambulance says, we need police. Yeah,
and then the ambulance are going to be the first on the scene, so... I know there's been stories sometimes in like previous true crime cases where because the ambulance is first there, they see things that like you might have not been able to hide just yet, or details that wouldn't necessarily be there when it comes to an investigation.
This is what I mean. So if they believe the dog story, there might have been something there that they've seen that tracks with that.
So the Rains County Sheriff, Richard Wilson, doubted the dog attack story almost from the start. So even though they've got Lovelace and Miller saying dog attacks, and they've got the paramedics saying dog attack, the actual sheriff doubted it. Even though they were shown clothes that were collected by Miller when treating April's wounds, none of the items of clothing were tested, as they weren't deemed to have enough blood or evidence on them. They did find a few small spots of blood on several leaves that were on the ground near where April's body was allegedly found, but there was not a sufficient amount of blood to analyse. So the actual evidence at the scene was quite minimal.
I suppose also this was in the 80s, did you say?
1989.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know, I can't remember when proper testing came about. Well, that wasn't until more recently, was it?
I'm not actually sure. I feel like I want to Google that. Like, when was the first like DNA testing? Would it be DNA? Would it be like blood splatter analysis?
Well, I was not just thinking blood spatter, but like maybe DNA if you got off of the wound and off of the clothing, whether there was like dog saliva.
Oh, actually, so I mean, it's coming out with UK, but I feel like it would go across the pond pretty quickly. It was mid 1980s that the first DNA fingerprint developed by Sir Alec Jeffreys. It was first used in a criminal investigation in the UK in 1986.
But that's fingerprint, you said.
Yeah,
Not...
and then DNA paternity testing was established in the 1987.
But is paternity the same as like? Isn't that?
Yeah, DNA profiling in 1986. It was used in 1986. Richard Buckley was exonerated despite having admitted to rape and murder of a teenager in Leicester. So yeah, 1986. So it would have been available.
Okay. Basically, I was wondering if they tested the wound and the clothing, would they have found dog saliva, which would then go towards the fact that... Stop making a face. It would go towards the fact that, yes, it was a dog attack.
Well, let me continue to read my notes and then you all will be revealed.
You guys can't see Jess's face whenever I make a theory.
It's like smug. I look so smug.
She does look so smug.
It's like, fuck you, I thought of this like part of my notes and I wanted to make you sit on the edge of your seat like, tell me.
I am, but I am also guessing it.
I mean, there's some good guesses. So maybe this was like maybe I was convinced that this case would be like really out there and wild, and it's like actually really obvious.
You were like, no way, no way.
This is insane, crazy. But yeah. So the doctor that saw to April believed that her wounds had been caused by a knife, which then questioned Lovelace and Miller's... Wait.
Did you write bad notes again?
I must have. I read these notes. I did these notes yesterday, technically, because we were meant to record yesterday. We didn't.
Sorry.
Like, I thought I was like on it. I think I just was reading it with the wrong enunciations.
Yeah,
I was enunciating in the wrong places.
There's something about reading it on the podcast that's like, how did I make these notes?
I think it's just like, now that I've read it again out loud, I'm like, oh, I see why I needed to enunciate, because it's which, when questioned.
I've read my notes out loud before, and I still, when it gets to the episode, I'm like, what am I trying to say?
It makes absolute sense. It does. I just put the emphasis on the wrong part.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
The doctor that saw to April believed that her wounds had been caused by a knife. Pause, because there's a comma there. Which, when questioned, emphasis, Lovelace and Miller stated they had a knife on the property which they produced from their truck. So the whole sentence was completely correct.
Yeah.
I was just being stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I would expect them to have a knife on the property if they're a farm, and also if they're being compliant. Right now, I am on the side that they didn't do this. I might eat all of my words if it turns out that they did.
So, well, if they're saying that this is the knife, so they're saying, or this Dr. Vivi Gonzalez is saying, well, these wounds can only be caused by a knife. They're literally handing it over. Like, I've never known a single murder, unless you were so convinced that you would get away with it.
Yeah.
That they would just go like, oh, have you got a knife? And they go, oh yeah, here is the knife. And it ends up, I mean, they've literally handed it over to the police. So it is pretty wild. As stated, the investigators also found an electric curling iron. Vivi Gonzalez testified he believed that it was the weapon used to make the scratches. So on April's body, she had scratches as well as the injury to her leg. I'm thinking old school curling iron, the one with the weird teeth in it.
But I'm still thinking that's, if you had a curling iron and you were going to attack someone with a curling iron, you wouldn't just scratch them.
You would think the heat would be the thing that you would do.
Yeah, or even if you used it as like a bat.
Yeah, that causes a different kind of damage, though. I'm thinking of the old, where it looks kind of like a comb. Do you know what I mean? Like those curling irons, like from the 70s, that look like a comb. Do you know what I mean? I might have to include a photo.
Yeah, maybe. Do I need to Google?
I'll see if I can, because I can picture it in my head.
WhatsApp it to me.
Well, that's just scissors. That's just sending me pictures of scissors. Oh.
Also,
Oh, it's not electric. Oh, okay. If that is, then I'm definitely wrong. And actually, if you Google it, it wouldn't be hot because from Googling it, an antique or old curling iron is basically looks like a big set of scissors, and then you would heat it up separately with like a mechanism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm seeing it. I'm like, okay, this makes complete sense. But
They said they
does
were
it make
electric.
complete sense? Did they?
It said it was electric.
I didn't say electric. I thought it was electric.
I swear you said electric at one point.
Oh yeah, also found an electric car. Oh, it's literally right there in my nose. I thought maybe it was.
No, so some of them that are coming up on mine are like your normal curling irons that are just a round barrel.
Oh, now I'm like dubious about my own notes.
So basically, why, in my head, why would you scratch someone with it?
Yeah, that's very true. We're just going to have to either doubt that this was an electric curling iron, or if it was an electric curling iron, it's all bollocks anyways.
Either way, why would you scratch someone? You would use it as a bat.
Yes. Phoebe Gonzalez actually later acknowledged that he never measured the width of the curling iron teeth to see if they corresponded with the scratches, which just feels like lazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's lazy.
That's
You're the
bad
pathologist.
sheriffing, policing, whatever you want to call it.
He's basically said that I believe that these are the murder weapons and never actually checked it.
Yeah,
like,
that's
garbage.
Like, come on. Put like 2 minutes of effort in.
He also stated that his reasoning for stating that it wasn't a dog attack was that the wounds on her leg, were cleanly cut as if by a knife and did not resemble the jagged edges that would have been expected by a dog attack. So he is the person that is doing the autopsy, so just bear that in mind. He's not the doctor that dealt with April when she was in surgery. He is the person that has conducted her autopsy and written the report to state that what he believes she died of. So bear that in mind.
That's fine, but again, like, measure to make sure you've got the scratches at the same distance. And I do the bare minimum. I thought he was the sheriff.
The sheriff did doubt the dog attack. The sheriff doubted it, but I feel like this person's backing up his.
Yeah, but my statement of this is bad policing or sheriffing. Sorry, this is just bad autopsying. Doctoring? I don't know.
Pathologing. Pathologisting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's bad all round. Do some bare minimum work. I understand you can at first glance be like, I don't think this is consistent with what I'm used to, but maybe dig a little further.
Just do a little bit of extra research. You're literally putting people away, and they, as we know from my jump through time, Lovelace and Miller were sentenced to life in prison.
Yeah.
So you've literally put two people away on a hunch, basically.
Yeah. That you haven't even gone any further with. You've just looked at it and gone, yeah, that doesn't look right. Rather than being worse. That doesn't look right. I'll look into it more.
It does unfortunately get worse.
I can't wait for it to get worse.
The curling iron and knife belonging to Miller were tested for blood. The curling iron was clean, but the knife blade yielded 2 microscopic spots police said might be blood. With that, authorities believe...
Okay.
I mean, you never know. And also, it's a farm knife.
Yeah.
I would assume that if you've got a knife in your truck, it's either going to be cutting things like hard wires, things like that, or to get them something out of things. He could have cut himself. He could have... I mean, there's multiple reasons.
I'm laughing because I was thinking, I went, I agree. That's what you would do on a farm when I have no knowledge and know nothing.
I was genuinely pulling that stuff
on a
out
farm.
Yeah. I was generally pulling that completely out of my head. I'm like, what would they do with a big knife on a farm? Cut wire.
Anyone want to tell us what they do with a big knife on a farm?
Someone needs to tell us.
Please tell us.
Because we're definitely probably wrong.
If you live on a farm, let us know.
Yeah, and...
Sorry, I'm throwing you off.
Yeah, it's fine. They said microscopic bits of blood, and from what they're saying about the wound that she had, again, within a small period of time, she's been brought into the house, and then the paramedics have arrived. How have they cleaned it? To get rid of blood evidence on a knife, you need to bleach it normally. That's what, all of the TV shows have told me. I'm not speaking from experience, obviously.
Where is Sam?
I just wanted to get through that 5-year anniversary, and then I was like, yeet.
Yeet from my life.
I'm putting in a concrete slab in the garden, did you know?
It's It's a nice feature in your garden.
Right? It's where my skate ramp's going to go. Oh, why did you decide to do it so quickly? No reason, nothing at all. Where's Sam? He went on a trip. A really, really, long trip. He left me forever and ever.
That concrete slab is about 6'6". That's...
It's very specific. Oh, I don't say that. My ramp is actually like... I think it's 8 foot long, to be fair. But no, it's 16 feet long, so I could fit 2 Sams in there. So.
Oh, excellent. Get another one then.
Just start laying multiple Sams. Anyone who's ever wronged me, careful, because there's a concrete slab that I need to lay. Oh god, if anyone ever listens to this podcast, we'd definitely be going to prison.
I mean,
or we'd be put on a watch list.
We might be put on a watch list, but you currently don't have a concrete slab.
No. I do need a concrete slab though. This is like, I'm not gonna lie, like okay. I genuinely do need a concrete slab, so please don't take that as a, you know, an omen or like, oh, Jess has done a dodgy.
I didn't know that you needed a concrete slab.
No, I do. Unfortunately, for listeners, I own a skate ramp. It's currently my mum's house and it's massive. I think it's 16 foot long. It's pretty long.
I mean, skate ramps generally are.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It basically is where I need to put it in the garden is currently a bit of decking that's rotten. So the decking needs to come up, and then to make sure that doesn't sink into the ground below it, I will have to lay a concrete slab. So I promise I won't be burying any bodies under the slab, but it's going to have to happen eventually.
If Sam goes missing, I will be questioning some things. I mean, our other friend, when she listened to our first episode about there being a new concrete slab in, like, those are the things that tick you off as a murderer, she did send us a video going, am I suspicious?
She's laying one for her chicken coop.
Yeah, it was for her chicken coop, and it was for various other things in the garden that have legit reasons, but the way we were like, yeah, if you have a new concrete slab, if you have this, if you have that.
Oh, wasn't it concrete slab? Yeah, concrete slab. It was I think it was an axe or a shovel or pickaxe or something of those kinds, a spade and gardening things, like soil, like fresh soil. And she had all of those because she's doing garden stuff. So yeah.
So she sent us a video being like, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. Am I suspicious? And we were like, yes, you always are. Where is your husband?
He's still here, don't worry.
Yeah, we've seen him since. It's
legit.
None of our friends, as far as I know, are murderers.
That's good. I feel like that's good statistics. Statistically, we're doing well, but none of our friends are murderers.
That we know.
That we know of. I mean, I really like my friends. Can you none of you be murderers, please? I don't have the patience or the time or the enthusiasm to make new friends.
Exactly.
I am too old. I'm too old to make new friends. I don't have the energy. What if they think I'm too weird? It's going to take too long to pretend to be normal and ease in the weird.
I'm in my 30s now and I can't pretend to be normal. I'm like weird from the get-go and I'm like, you either like it or you don't.
Yeah, true.
I have no patience for being normal. Like, I don't think I physically can be anymore.
There's our words of advice then. If you're in the midst of looking for new friendships, just be yourself. And if yourself is 1000% weird, they're not your friend.
Exactly.
And you don't need them in your life.
What's the let your freak flag fly?
Nice. I don't know where I was in my notes. Okay. Microscopic blood. Yes. So with the 2 microscopic spots, police said that it might be blood. With that, authorities believe that they had enough to refute the dog attack story, and that's when they arrested Miller and Lovelace on these items, and these were used as the main evidence in their case, as well as the evidence from B.B. Gonzalez, the pathologist or autopsy person.
Autopsy.
That's the official. Yeah. Autopsy official person. I think it's pathologist. I think. I swear I
think it's pathologist too. Yeah.
The defence did not raise the dog attack theory at all.
Wow.
They only called 2 witnesses, Mr. Miller's ex-wife and a state crime lab analyst who said that no blood was found on the knife. They actually presented an ulterior theory that it was just a random attacker. So they gave no evidence, even though apparently...
Sorry, that's a bad defence, because where is this random attacker?
Yeah,
why did
exactly.
They come
it's somebody, but they're not here.
Yeah.
It's a really bad defence, even though apparently throughout the trial proceedings, both Miller and Lovelace continued to say to their lawyers, the dogs. They kept saying the dogs did this wasn't us. So they stuck to their story quite religiously.
I know it is kind of far-fetched, but We literally had a moose attack like 2 episodes ago. No, not a moose, an elk attack. A drunk elk attack as well 2 episodes ago. So it's not out of the realm.
It's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there was that. I don't know whether we'd ever do it as a story, but I swear there was a story once of, I think it was in Australia, of a family saying that their baby, wasn't it my baby was, dingo stole my baby?
Yes.
I think that was the headline.
And wasn't it real?
I can't remember. Maybe we do have to look into it because I thought it was fake.
Maybe it's not. But
maybe that'll be a future one.
I thought there was, dingoes did steal some people.
Dingoes did something. We don't know if it was stealing babies or not. Sorry. Maybe we'll do that in future.
Maybe.
I feel like now I kind of want to do the dingo stole my baby because, for transparency, this episode did come up when I was researching the Elks Moose murder.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to do it in the future. And then when I realised that I'd have to come up with a new case, I was like, I can't be asked to think of a new one. I'll just do that one instead.
You just do lots of animals in crime.
So maybe my next episode is going to be Dingo Stole My Baby.
Gosh, maybe do a normal one first.
Normal as in just normal murder, yeah?
Just standard murder.
Standard murder. This is just too out there. We can only deal with every now and again we need a weird one, and then we just go back to horrific human murders.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what is our lives? So, at the trial, jurors saw photos of a lifeless girl whose body was a grotesque roadmap of cuts, scratches, puncture wounds, and multiple bruises. The prosecutor described a horrible death, saying the girl had been cut and poked repeatedly with a hunting knife and beaten with a curling iron. With all this evidence mounting up, there didn't seem to be much dispute that they were in fact guilty. So if you were a juror sitting in that case, your evidence that you've been presented in the defence is, maybe somebody else did it. A person. They're saying a person did it, not Lovelace or Miller. And the only person they bring as a witness is the ex-wife of the person that's supposedly the killer.
Yeah.
And then you're given the alternative, which is, the parents did it, here's the evidence, here's the murder weapons, and here's all the photos of the very, very, injured child. Of course you as a juror would find it guilty.
It's completely understandable, and the defence's theory doesn't feel very fleshed out.
No, it's pretty basic, and I don't quite understand whether they
doesn't feel like they were trying.
Yeah, that's it. I don't feel like they felt like it was trying. 4 years later, it was deemed that not only was there cause for a mistrial due to evidence having been kept out of the original trial, but also the judge believed that the defence that the Lovelace and Miller were given was inadequate. So we're now jumping ahead to 1993. So rather than present evidence of a dog attack, the defence team argued that April's human attackers were unknown, and they also never attempted to dispute the findings of Gonzalez, the pathologist, due to the evidence they had. So they never actually said, here's evidence of the knife and the curling iron were wrong.
Yeah, you would, as a juror, being presented with all of that, I would have said guilty too. But in this story, I don't feel like they are.
Yeah. It was also stated by the retrial or person bringing the retrial that they believed that if there had been additional evidence given at the time, that they would have deemed it that Lovelace and Miller would have been found innocent. So everything that they said would have been disputed. So yeah. Whilst in prison, John Miller had been trying to contact multiple lawyers to help his case, and finally was able to convince Robert Ardis to assist in an appeal. In 1992, Ardis discovered that photo evidence had never been turned over to the defence, something the prosecution denies. Ardis obtained 26 emergency room and autopsy photos, which were found in the back of a desk. It's 4 years later, and they're just shoved to the back of the desk. But I'm just surprised that they were still there. I find that really
surprised
really wild.
Someone doesn't clean out their desk.
No, but for the sake of Lovelace and Miller, it worked out really well for them.
Yeah.
In one photo, a paw print bruise was visible on April's back and showed visible dog hair on her body.
Oh,
right? It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
So obvious from stuff like that. I don't understand. It feels like they had a vendetta against them.
I guess what they were saying was this sheriff was like, no, it's not a dog attack. So despite the fact that there was multiple pieces of evidence stating this, because I haven't even got to the next bit.
But were they known to the sheriff? Had they had disputes with the sheriff before, or do you not know?
There was nothing that said that, nothing that came up in my research at least. And there was one of my sources was a YouTube article, or a YouTube video, and it was actually a news report from the time.
Oh, okay.
And both Lovelace and Miller were interviewed, and neither of them mentioned that. They just basically said that they were basically the case was mishandled.
Yeah.
Several medical experts viewed the material and all concluded April was the victim of a dog attack. Wound on the thigh that was visible at the autopsy, Gonzalez had said that the wound was too clean cut, that it must have been cut by a knife and not a ragged cut brought by a dog, was actually caused by a scalpel during her surgery in an attempt to save her life. So the physicians had actually cut away the ragged skin during the surgery. Gonzalez's whole theory of like, oh, it's a caused by a knife, so it can't be a dog, was because the surgeons had actually cut away the damaged skin.
He didn't think of that.
Nope. So the clean cut was because it was cut by a scalpel.
Come on. Like, do some work. Do some of your job. If they've gone into... I didn't even think about that, but yeah, of course.
There was no due diligence. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't immediately go to the horrific. Like, you look at a child... Is. Yeah, exactly. Like, you look at a child, you see their injuries, you might immediately go to that assumption. But, like, do the due diligence of just checking all the facts, especially when you've got multiple... Like, both people in the case that are being tried are saying, no, dogs did this. And then the next bit is just the icing on top of the cake. Moreover, DNA tests on April's clothing revealed the presence of canine saliva. So there you go.
Oh my god, I would have done so good in this case.
If it was like a brain teaser or a...
Why wasn't I the pathologist?
Should have been. You would have done a better job than Vivi Gonzalez.
I would have just done a bit more work. Like half an hour's worth of
work. Just a double check.
Yeah.
Just get, sanity check it. Just like have a look.
Let's have a little sanity check.
So as said, copies of the photographs and the autopsy report, as well as all the additional DNA testing, was shown to multiple medical experts, and without exception, all experts concluded that April's wounds had been inflicted by a dog. So, yeah.
So dumb. So dumb. Them not looking into it, not the...
I know. Then I say that last bit was the icing on top of the cake, but I had actually forgotten about this part in my notes because I added it quite late in the day because only one or two sources mentioned it. So Anne Oliver, the State Child Protective Services worker assigned to the case after April's death. So obviously they've been told that there is child abuse. They've had to go in and check the home afterwards, especially because April had a sister.
Well, I was going to say, they took her stepsister away from her for the next 4 years. Not away from her, but away from the parents. Like,
well, she had no parents.
She had no parents for 4 years.
So Anne Oliver, the Child Protective Services officer, told Ardis, the lawyer that was working on the appeal, that she found no evidence of child abuse in the Miller-Lovelace family. But more importantly, Oliver said that the family of dogs attacked her more than once on her visits to the Miller and Lovelace farm. She urged someone to make impressions of the dogs at the time of the original trial, and no such action took place. She concluded the defendants probably were telling the truth, an opinion she shared with the prosecutor. So you've got both the people in the case saying a dog did it and their lawyers never came forward and made that case for them. And then you've also got an outside party coming in saying, not only was I attacked by their dog, but I think you should do these tests, and they did nothing.
That's ridiculous. I mean, again, most horrific things are done by people. I completely agree that your first thought is going to be that the parents did it. However, just a little bit more work. Just a little bit. Just a tiny weeny bit of checking.
Yep. The Rains County Assistant District Attorney Al Smith was told by Anne Oliver that she was adamant that the dogs were responsible and she could not get him to listen. So even the district attorney, so that's now beyond, that's the person bringing the charges against the Lovelace and Miller.
Yeah, God.
Judges found that prosecutors broke basic legal and ethical rules, keeping important evidence and witness testimony and making improper arguments to jurors. A state petition for a writ of habeas corpus was filed, and on April 3rd, 1993, following a 4-day hearing, Lovelace and Miller were granted a new trial because of the prosecution's failure to turn over the medical records and because of ineffective representation by the defence attorneys. Lovelace and Miller were released from prison on December 23, 1993, after the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals affirmed the trial court decision to vacate the conviction. On May 2nd, 1994, the charges were dismissed. Lovelace and Miller filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the Rains County prosecutor Alwyn Smith and Frank Long and Rains County Sheriff Richard Wilson in 1995, and the lawsuit was settled out of court in 2001 for an undisclosed amount.
That's a long time, though. That's 12 years of their life that's been taken up by this case.
And the two sources that I couldn't give you in the beginning was forjustice.org and exonerationregistry.org.
But you said retrial, so I think you could have.
Retrial, but it doesn't necessarily mean they were exonerated.
Yeah, true.
Like, retrial could have just meant the first trial went wrong and then they had to go and do it again.
Yeah.
But they didn't even technically have the retrial. They were given a retrial and then never went to trial because they were like, nah, this is
they didn't even... They literally just let them go because of all the evidence being so obvious. Oh, okay.
They just vacated the conviction. So they granted them the retrial, and then eventually they kind of went, just no, we're not even going to try this, and they just got rid of the conviction altogether and dropped the charges.
So does your teasers count? No, I'm joking.
It does. I was this close to saying the teaser was exonerated or something along those lines. I was like, nah, because that just
it takes away,
ruins it completely. Because they technically did get a retrial. So it was a bit sneaky, a bit not misleading, but just a bit of untruth.
Yeah. It was a white lie.
I gave you dog, and that was like really obvious. But it was like, as I was reading through the case, I was like, I don't know what to put. I debated about using the code Loveless, and I was like, but that's the person's name. So anybody out there that might know of the case would immediately. And weirdly, if you type Debbie Loveless into, there seems to be more articles for the mum than there is for like what comes up mostly is associated with Debbie Loveless as his name rather than April Tucker. It's very strange.
Oh, that is odd.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know
because
why.
she was a child at the time. But yeah.
Maybe. But to be fair, the teasers don't need to be so ambiguous that you can't guess it. Because that's not how they started. They started as just like a little fun, how can we end the episode? So they can be. We just like it when it's like a bit ambiguous and a bit like...
I do like it when it's a little bit ambiguous. It is fun then when you think of like if someone does actually get it, you're like, oh my gosh. A lot of I don't think there's, so far at least, there's been a case that we've covered that I've known. So I don't know if it just happens to be the podcasts that I've listened to in the past or like true crime stuff that I've watched. We haven't covered the like real major ones. I know we've said that we haven't covered the big ones, but I've not heard of this one. I've heard of Dingoes Ate My Baby.
I haven't heard of this one either. But again, like I said, I don't know names of most things.
True. But yeah, that is the death of April Tucker.
Oh, that was great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was good. It was really interesting. I will give myself a little pat on the back though, because I guessed that.
I think you deserve it. That is pretty good going.
It was like 2 minutes in and I was like, right, so the dogs did it and this has happened and that's happened.
I did debate about keeping out because the little bit at the beginning, like on the farm with horses and dogs, I was like, do I just put animals? I probably could have just put animals.
I still would have guessed the same thing though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But whether it's a wild dog or a trained dog, because you can get wild dogs.
Yeah, they never actually specified as to whether it was a wild dog. Obviously, the child protection officer that came in said that she was attacked by the dogs in the home. But Miller and Loveless never stated that it was like, oh, it was this dog of ours, or whether it was a wild dog.
Also, I know sometimes on farms you can have dogs that you have like dogs that are inside dogs that are like your family pet dogs, and then dogs that are on the farm type.
Yeah, true.
Like not wild because they are your dogs, but they're not indoor dogs, if that makes sense.
There's I haven't seen it in a while. It's like those random for you options that pop up on your reels or feeds or whatever. And at one point, it obviously must have triggered an algorithm, and it was a farm dog that was like protecting the baby goats, but it like slept in the barn with maybe it was goats, maybe it was sheep, maybe it was pigs. I don't know. It was a baby animal, farm animal, and this dog was like very, very good, very, very protective, to the fact that actually like another farm dog had come in and that dog had got like his hackles up and was like, no, I'm protecting the babies, and like made it go away. So
they do live with the animals.
Yeah, they're not like in-home dogs.
Yeah.
You know, it's not your like domesticated dog.
Yeah.
They are a working
dog. That's the word, not indoor dog.
There we go. Technically indoor dog, domesticated dog, farm dog.
Yeah.
Same. Potato.
But thank you very much. That was very interesting.
Thank you. You are welcome.
So,
are we jumping straight into? Do you want me to give you the teasers for your case? Or I don't have any spiel. I don't know what to say. So,
my teasers for next episode are Florida, weather balloon, and gun.
Okay. I just listened to one of like a podcast do the boy in the hot air balloon, but I don't think it's that.
No, it's not that.
Okay. Cool.
It's different to that. I think it's different to that. I had I had a very quick
I don't think it's the
Google
same. There was no
before.
gun in that
No.
one. There's no gun in that one.
But I
pretty sure.
listened to that podcast
nice.
too.
There we go. Very nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bestie.
Thank you so much, Bestie, for coming to listen to my episode.
We have to plug our social medias. So if you'd like to find us on TikTok or Instagram, we are Crime Time with My Bestie on both.
You can listen to us if you're listening now. You can also catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
And give us a comment on both
yes.
social media and on Spotify or wherever you listen, because it boosts our algorithm and we can be found by more people.
Yeah. Then you can keep listening to us up to our 21 episode
and
goal.
beyond.
And beyond. So.
We're not just doing it to 21. That's just the first goal. You're locked in now.
We're over halfway now.
This is forever now.
So thanks so much for coming, Bestie.
There's so many cases. You can do this. I believe in you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bestie.
Thank you so much, Bestie.
And thank you, besties, for listening. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.